Everyone. And hello. How is everyone doing? Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and this is Movie Crap Live. Is it going live? I wonder, it should be live. Looks like it is. Oh, can I hear myself? And hello. There I am. Hello. Oh, Nattenbox Halt West Side Story on the big screen? Look at you. That's cool. I'm jealous. I have not seen that. I've seen it. But the original? That's a good movie. So congrats to you. Anyway, sorry. I was getting something right. Let's say hello to Austin Cornbread, Ryan Walterson, Tosio of Freedom 3. Sorry. Nattenbox 64 again. Sinram, K-Master, Sleepy Time, 4Cat Productions, K-Master, Cornbread, Jordan Sluffalo, Austin, again, Purple Goop, Twisted Razor, Cornbread, Sunspot Mill, Nathaniel Foga, Major Mekazawa, Coral Tender, Nina Garcia, Jordan Sluffalo, Not Plausible. It looked great. Awesome. Congrats. Ninebox 64 had a cinematic experience right there. Medela Butterfly, Toonjay 723. We got a good crowd tonight, I gotta say. In the chat, Paige Howard. Yeah. All right. Calico Plus. Thank you for look at those smiley faces. Those are nice. And we started a little before 10:30. Right at 10:30? I don't know. 4 cornbreads this week. Sorry. When I'm just reading down, I'm basically like Ron Burgundy in that. Did you see Save Ralph? No, I did not, Disco Spider. I'm sorry. It's a short, right? It's not a feature. What is the deal with that? Oh, Knives Out is cool. Now I'm going to look this up before we have the... Hold on. Save Ralph. Is that a short? It's a film. It's a short film. Yeah, I need to do that probably. Oh, well. Sorry about that. I did not see it. Yeah, Minari is really good. Chan reviews more. That's a good name. I like that. That's a good username. We gotta save King Ralph. That's true. I guess I should come out from under this thing here. It's almost like praying. It's the only thing I have. Oh, it's only 4. Well, I'm not gonna watch it right now, but it just, I just didn't get around to it. And Zodberg's here. I guess that's a reason to switch over. Oh, hello. Never mind. Will's here. Says, just rewatch Kung Fu Panda. Surprisingly... Oh, well, this is the first super chat, so I got to do the thing. Okay, hold on. Hello. Welcome to Movie Crap Live again. Thank you all for being here. Now let's answer Will's super chat. I'm glad Will's here tonight. Nice to see you, Will. Said, just rewatch Kung Fu Panda 2008. Surprisingly holds up. Great action. Efficient storytelling. Mark Osborne deserves more accolades. I will agree. We rewatched that for one of our family movie nights, and that movie holds up. I think we haven't seen 2, but for some reason we've seen 1 and 3 because she wanted to see 3 for some reason. Anyway, cheers to you, Will. Thank you for the super chat. And hello, Will helped me with one of the trailers today because I was like, isn't that a thing we talked about before? Will knew what was up. And Beta Wave, hello. Sorry if I try to say hi to everyone. Sorry about all that. Before we get into the main show of it, small talk, I got my second shot this week, so I'm going to be immune, I guess in 2 weeks or whatever. That second shot, Pfizer second shot, is no joke. Really not feeling great this past week. And I had just today, I had weird pains in various parts of my body, not to get gross or anything. So just take it easy if you get the second shot. I know some people are fine. Some people are just knocked out. Just don't expect to do much. If you are able to do that, of course. Just my own recommendation, but it didn't, the first day I was fine. The day I got the shot, any day after was like, whoa. Oh, Nattenbox64 says, saw that Rio 1 is on Disney Plus, Hulu, and Roku channel now. That's interesting. It's on so many. That's interesting. That's cool. I've never watched Rio 1. Maybe I should check that out. But cheers to you, Nattenbox64. I feel like people are going to get mad at me, but because of that. But yeah, so be careful. That was an experience. I went to the Javits Center again. If you're near the Javits Center, there was some gym stickers there around there. I don't know if they're still there, but it was a good experience. It's still sad to walk through there and literally be at the place you're at a booth and get a shot. Is like, that's kind of the thing. It's not so much that I'm infusing those memories there when I'm literally at a place, I'm like, that's where I joked with Nintendo, or that's where I joke with Nolan, or that's where I joke with Clem, or that's where, you know what I mean? That's the problem with it. I was thinking, like, why would you, I don't know. That's just, to me, like, that, I was like, why was I doing that? I'm like, because I'm literally in the same spot. It's like, anyway, what was I going to say? I don't think anything else. I forget if we watched anything. I'm sure we did. And I'm like blanking on it. I haven't watched Arlo. I am gonna watch Infinity Train. I'm like halfway through. I wanted to give it some time so I can review it properly because I really like that show. Other than that, so the Oscar predictions, I never really gave. I think I was saying it was maybe on a Monday. I'm not going to do that now. I am going to do an Oscar prediction stream. I'm thinking Wednesday, but that's a reason to follow the community tab. Follow me on Twitter. The day before, I will give, hey, this is when it's going on. This is the time. I'm sorry, that's non-committal. It'll basically work, that stream, that version of special edition. It'll be half predictions, half questions. So if you want a longer question thing, that will be it. So yeah, and then of course there will be one the Monday after. There's like always one the Monday after that night at about 10:30, I believe. And there will be a usual show on Saturday. So we're doing a lot of streams. The other thing is I'm probably not, other than the movie review vote and Oscar reaction, I don't think there's going to be videos on Mondays anymore. Rare exceptions, but I'm just going to stay off of it. Just to give me more time to develop things. One of the things I'm working on is the Magnificent Ambersons Lost Film File, which there's news that I'll get into when I get to that part. But that was, I don't know when that's coming out because I put it all on a timeline and it's like not 2 hours, but like pretty close. Of all the footage, so I think it's going to take a while, and I really want to cut it down to, like, I don't really want it to be more than 45, so, yeah, I should move this, it's not making a lot of noise, my thing's over, you can just be there, so anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah, so it's long. I want it to be, like, a watchable length. I don't want it to be, like, the Lindsey Ellis video, which I will talk about tonight. There seems to be, I got a few people like, are you going to talk about it? I'll talk about that at some point, not at the beginning of the show. I didn't want to advertise it. I don't really want this to be a drama channel, but that thing is so big, you kind of can't not. And I will wear a tux, and I'll do the Red Bull wine glass joke again. Okay? But I won't pour it until I get the first one. Until the first one, then I'll pour it, and I'll pour it on camera. How about that? All right. Anyway, let's get into this proper. I'm doing 2 segments tonight. Falcon Winter Soldier episode 5, of course, because we do that. And then the Toonami, the Intruder, because of the Every Toonami Show Ever. Oh, that was what I wanted to talk about. Now I remember. So when I did Every Toonami Show Ever, did you know YouTube premieres can, like, not work out? Did anyone know this? I didn't. We all learned that anyone who showed up, and thank you for showing up, learned that apparently it can get all glitchy. So what I basically did is I just made it public. I just changed the settings immediately. If that ever happens on one of my premieres, I know I do a lot of Insta premieres, but something like that. Hold on. If that ever happens, I'll get to you, Nat Box. If that ever happens, just know I'm going to switch it to public immediately. So if you see it freaking out a lot, you're not going to have to watch the whole video like that. I will correct it as soon as I possibly can. Just know I'm, like, scurrying through tabs on my laptop, like, you know. So that kind of sucked. It would have been fun to watch it with everyone all the way through, but whatever. But yeah. Anyway, did it happen yesterday? No, it happened. Where are we talking about? That thing? Okay. Oh, this thing. Off topic. This is from Nattenbox64. Off topic, but I heard the Ponzi scheme fraudster Bernie Madoff. Yes, that guy passed away this week. Yes, he did. He's not in the obits. But, yeah. Cheers to your Nattenbox64. All right. So, let's do the Patreon-y Discord thing. It was rude of YouTube, Jordan Slothflow. You are right. So this and everything I do is predominantly supported by you, the fans, or you, the viewers like you, through your support, either through super chats during the show. I take a chug of Red Bull. I read what you have to say. It helps the show keep going because it gives me caffeine, and it also, it's also a fun thing to do, and I really appreciate that. There's also the Patreon, which is in the link below in this description. It has all sorts of cool features. You can donate through there as well. There's all sorts of cool features like postcards, Skype calls, more power in the movie review, more power in the movie review vote. You get the movie review vote winners videos, everything, the commentary series that's Patreon exclusive, all sorts of cool stuff. You can watch every episode of my public access show. Was it movie stuff? Yeah, you can watch those only through the Patreon exclusive playlist. So, actually, literally, even though I think they re-air randomly, but if you want to watch them in order, you can. So those are some of the cool things. If you're, of course, financially able to do so, and I very much appreciate if you are. And thank you very much for your support. It helps me get new equipment like this computer, be able to update stuff, be able to, be able to just make this, a financially viable enterprise of just me. So thank you very much for all your support. I really appreciate it. And, all that good stuff. Also, if you are not financially able to do so, just subscribing and liking this video, anything like that is appreciated. If you just watch every time and that's all you do, thank you for that. That's still support. It really is. And thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you subscribe and hit the bell for notifications when I do instant premieres, which I'm doing for more not just movie crap live shorts, but when I do reviews, like when I do Infinity Train Book 4, when I do the Arlo review, when I do those more instant premieres, you will get a notification, so you will know right when it goes up, and you can show up for the instant premiere or a premiere for the Toonami thing. So it actually helps out. So anyway, thank you very much, everyone who watches, and in general, I really appreciate you guys, because I was thinking today, it was everyone says I don't know, everyone always says these weird things and does e-begging, but I just want to say thank you just for watching. I really do very much appreciate it. I think that's very cool of you. So thank you, the viewer in general. That's very cool of you. Before I will get to I just thought, why not? Thank you, the viewer. That needs to be said more. Zane Powers, aren't you going to pay your respects to him? I'm assuming you mean Bernie Madoff, and fuck him. Although he stole from rich people, so don't fuck him. Anyway, cheers to you, Zane Powers. Next, the Discord. Austin and Zane Powers do a really great job running the Discord. It has all sorts of cool stuff, like the Ask Jim channel where you can ask me questions, and I will hopefully answer them. We've been doing pretty good going to it almost every day, answering the questions that are there. There's General, where I try to post exclusive things, what do you want me to talk about in Movie Crap Live? Or what the shorts I'm going to do a little bit early and things like that. There, I don't know, a lot of it's a great community. They do watch-alongs. They have all sorts of things like movie story discussions. You can post a movie story if you want me to talk about them, which I do look through before I go through the show. You can get some more interactions. You give me suggestions on what to cover for the channel, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's a great Discord. Check it out if you want to, or if you don't get to be here live during the show and you think this chat seems fun that Jim talks to, can I interact with them? You can at any time on the Discord. So remember that. Don't feel shy. Do it. Also, this is the third thing. I have a ton of stickers. I have nothing, gym stickers, I have nothing to do with them other than like put them around New York City, and that's silly. And they're mainly for you guys. So if you are a fan and you're like, hey, I would like a bunch of gym stickers, DM me on Twitter or something like that, or on the Discord. You can do that when you join, and just say, hey, Jim, here's my address, and I will send them to you. You do not have to have a super chat or a Patreon, although I appreciate that. All you have to do is say, hey, Jim, here's my address. Obviously, you watched, so there. I don't care what you do with them. I just, I have a box. I don't know when I'm going to a convention again, and I assume there would be. Yeah, I know a lot of people have plenty of them. So I'm just, anyone else who's watching, hit me up. You can have some. I would really just like fans to have them and not them be in a stupid box in my closet, and I put them up randomly. Anyway, oh, that's true. Cornbread has Movie Crap Live thumbnail predictions. I forgot about this. And Cornbread guesses what the thumbnail is going to be. I'll react to this live. Let me get my phone. Hold on. Let's react to this live. My cards. No. I still don't have these. Godzilla cards are holding up real well. I'll react to. Why not? Where can we DM you for the stickers? I would say either Discord or Twitter would be the best two. If Instagram, maybe, if that's what you want to. Let's see. General. Let's see what Cornbread guess. Oh, someone just followed me on Twitter. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, that was okay. Cornbread did not pick anything I would have picked, but I couldn't find a good Infinity Train the movie thumbnail, and you did, so I would have done that. Actually, I'm kind of jealous. I might rip that off, to be honest with you. That part I like a lot. Damn, Cornbread, that was pretty good. Hi, Austin. How's it going? Clever. I didn't do the Annies, you're right. But yeah, the Infinity Train the movie. Clever, Austin. Clever. Clever. All right. Also, Izzy has a new YouTube channel. I've tweeted it. You should subscribe. I have seen stuff, and it's good. So, yeah. All right. You're not really halting the stream. I'm just being loose tonight. I don't know. Anyway. No. Oh, you custom made that? Good job, Cornbread. Good job. I didn't know that. All right. Let's get to the first thing. This isn't the longest script, so I'm not too worried. He says early in the show. Later, I'm like, we got to move through shit fast. So we got to start this show off right with what did you link there? What is this? Oh shit, I left the thing. Oh, Izzy's thing. Okay, now I just went to Izzy's thing. 700, of course. Okay, I threw in my link to her channel. Sorry, I clicked on it and then I couldn't see. Jim's a stupid. Okay, what's going on? I hope that's okay. That's weird. Hold on 1 second. I hope everything is okay with YouTube's being a little funky with me. It was being funky today. I've noticed I haven't had the greatest luck with them. Okay, we're okay. Sorry about that. It was just being... My one dashboard is being weird. Anyway, so Fast 9... Sorry. The Fast 9 trailer dropped this week. It looked amazing. Justin Lin is back. If you don't know who Justin Lin is, he's the one who directed... he started with Tokyo Drift, but he directed Fast 5, which I think by and large is considered the greatest Fast and Furious film. Fast 6, the fourth one, which is probably his weakest, and Tokyo Drift. He's a great director in terms of Fast and Furious stuff. I like him as director a lot, actually. He's the one who made the Fast and Furious what they are today. Austin, don't feel bad. That was my mistake, not yours. You did a good thing. I did a stupid thing. For real, that's how it is. Yeah, so Justin Lin, he's back. We saw the trailer. It looked really cool. It looked fun. It's like the first time I've actually wanted to go back to a theater because you have to for this one. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if I want to promote that. I have mixed feelings about that in general, but I'll get to that when it's more closer to that. I haven't, anyway. but it looked like a lot of fun. It looked like the fun that a Fast and Furious movie is supposed to be. And I agree with you, Austin. Star Trek Beyond was awesome. I like Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, it just looked like a great Justin Lin Fast and Furious film. We saw them go to space because, of course, although we don't really see them go to space, like it looks like they're kind of going to space. I feel like it's just right outside of space. We don't see them in space, but I guess you can't show that in the first trailer or whatever. And it just looks like we're getting more into what the last one, which was Fast 8, where it gets like super ridiculous with the... Was that with the missile? They turned around the missile. Like it just gets like... It feels like the series has just like honed in on the ridiculousness where Dom Toretto is a villain and all that stuff. That one was nuts. But then he was wearing like a suit of armor on top of all those cars. Like what the fuck was that? Like I like this version of where Fast and Furious is in its later years because you're like, how did we get here? Is just like part of the whole vibe. It's which I love about it. So I think Justin Lin will have a lot more fun with it. He's really great with those actors. He's great with that storyline. And then the almost bigger news is someone asks, will there ever be a crossover with Jurassic Park? Because they're both Universal properties. Will there be a Fast and Furious Jurassic Park crossover? And he said, never say never. Now look, at first you're like, Jim, they're not going to do that. Okay, guys, Fast and Furious started, they just were guys in cars stealing DVD players from pickup trucks, and now they're in space. That's the arc. Dinosaurs are not crazy in this scenario. Dinosaurs are expected. Justin Lin has said he's making a trilogy to end Fast and Furious. They should go back in time and hear me out on this. Completely remake Sound of Thunder, or as most of you know it, that one thing in Treehouse of Fire, and they should rewrite history. Now you're saying that's insane. Is it? Is it a car that travels through time? Come on, guys. It would probably work. I'm just saying this would be crazy. Also, Han is back. I forgot to mention that. Han is back somehow. I don't care how. I love Han. I do think it's interesting that Han only shows up when Justin Lin's there. That's that's interesting. Like these two without Justin Lin, he's gone. But now when Justin Lin's back, Han is back. Of course, I love Han. I'm like about that. But yeah, I'm really hoping. I think that Justin Lin previously was like really mum about the space thing, and then he wasn't involved. He was like, "See, I went to space. I did Star Trek." And then I think it was named, I forget the guy who writes most of them, was sort of weird about it. So if they ever say like, no, that's really not happening, then yes. But otherwise, oh, go back in time and stop the JFK murder with cars. Oh, I love that. Like he's getting ready to shoot JFK, and then Dom Toretto drives by like, and it like bangs off his car, and then and then and then and then he stops, and they drive up on the grassy knoll and do a donut, and then like drive off and like get some like barbecue because it's Texas. Man, they gotta do a time travel Fast and Furious. To me, it's like Earth has lost all its potential. See, here's the thing: the Fast and Furious film has actually outgrown Earth. So, like, why even be on Earth anymore in one dimension? Why not go multiple dimensions, multiple timelines? I just think that would make sense. And they'll stop the JFK thing. Okay, let me actually read the super chat. Sorry. Go back in time and stop the JFK murder with cars. This is for Zane Powers. Cheers to you, Zane Powers. Thank you for that whole riff. I love the franchise because it kind of took the potential, right when the whole like Snakes on the Plane, like let's make movies to be cult movies or be B movies, and like no one could ever do it. And then right when that craze ended, Fast 5 came along and was like, hold my beer. I'm sorry, hold my 6-pack, because I'm about to show y'all motherfuckers how I do this, and I'm going to make $1 billion. And you know what? They did. And that's exactly, they took that vibe, that mood that everyone was into with the B movie thing, and rode it off into the sunset because they're family. Then the song from MI2 is playing, Rollin', Rollin'. No, the MI2 song is not Rollin'. It's I Don't Know Why You Want to Hate Me. Because of Woodstock 99. Because he played break stuff. Cheers to you, Austin. Uh, Remember when the most political thing in music was that Limp Bizkit played break stuff at a concert once? Wow. Talk about innocent times. Nattenbox 64 says, you can say that FF is quite universal. Cheers to you, Nattenbox 64. I also want Dominic Toretto. Here's my vision of him versus a dinosaur. As he is in his muscle car, he's driving, he's getting ready. The dinosaur's like T-Rex. It's got to be a T-Rex. It's like rawr, rawr, and all this stuff. And he's like, and he drives his car into the T-Rex's mouth and shoots out the other side, blood going everywhere. And his brain is tiny because they're T-Rexes. I think that's how it worked. And then like drives out. T-Rex is dead. He's like, nobody messes with family. And that's, yeah, that would be pretty cool. Hit me up, Universal. What did I say? Did I say Woodstock the wrong thing? Did I say not 99? Remember Hurricane Heist? I do. I never saw that, Nathaniel Fogg. I need to see that. That's by the guy who directed the first one, who's an awful person. Dino Riders. That's what they should. You're right. Rise of Lily. Anyway, thank you, Nathaniel Fogg. That's very nice for you, the super chat. And I do need to see Hurricane Heist. That is such a cool idea. Or did I watch it when I was drinking and doing time code? Oh, yeah, I did. It was okay. Now I remember it. Thank you for all that. That was quite a memory. Cheers to you, Nathaniel Fogg. All right. Yeah. Who sues Fast and Furious first? Dino Riders or Cadillacs and Dinosaurs? Or do they buy both because Fast and Furious? All right. I guess we can move on from Fast and Furious, but we will never move on. You know, I want those films to just like keep going. I love that like society loves those movies. I just, yeah, just beautiful. All right, so we got an official Powerpuff Girls photo this week after the TMZ. Why is that light pointed? Oh, I pointed my light the wrong way. Oh, well, we'll just keep going. The Powerpuff Girls photo, the official photo came out this week. We got some more TMZ stuff. My whole thing with this, and everyone says, oh, it's a flashback thing. We don't actually know that. I more just want... we have a Ryan Welch says super chat. I'm betting right now the Spy Racers cartoon on Netflix will cross over with Camp Cretaceous before the movies themselves cross over. That's not a bad prediction, Ryan Walterson. And Camp Cretaceous won an Annie, I believe. Cheers to you, Ryan. Cheers to you. So, Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, the photo came out, an official photo, as I said on Twitter, and as I said, I think elsewhere or something, I don't know, that they definitely like had someone retouching that photo like crazy, like the day after that came out. They were like, you have to finish this. We need a thing next week that looks good to change the public's opinion around about this show. I don't agree with showing on-set photos because so much of what someone's wearing is being worn for camera, not for a TMZ paparazzi photo from like across the street. Like it's just sort of not fair. So I want to see the whole presentation. I don't really like to judge things off that. So that was kind of an issue I had with that. The photo looks fine. I'm sure the show will look fine. I will definitely review the pilot. I'm not going to review every episode. But to me, it's like that photo looked good. It seemed like they did kind of, whoever retouched it probably spent that whole weekend being suffered to hear tons of notes and like, let's get this as perfect as possible so we can like impress the public sort of thing. And then they, it seems like people are kind of happy with it. We don't know if it's a flashback sequence. Right now, we literally know nothing. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So, it looked fine. I'm kind of more like, I'm going to wait and see this pilot, and then Nero's Q can get mad that I didn't like it or something. If he doesn't make a comeback after this thing, I'm going to be really disappointed. If he's not, I'm going to pretend I am him, even though I wasn't him before. He should just, what's wrong with that guy? He needs to come back. Fucking, if you're gonna be a hater, do it right. All right. So the Annies happened. Sorry, I am being a jerk. The Annies happened last night. I did not get to watch them at all. I know Paleo did a stream on Twitch. Good for him. That sounded really cool. It seemed like people enjoyed that stream quite a bit. That Paleo did, as well as the Annie stream. But let's just give Paleo subs and stuff like that. So the big winners were Soul and Wolfwalkers because they switch out best feature and best indie feature. It lets Soul and Wolfwalkers both win, which is interesting because the two films that were kind of competing for best animated feature at the Oscars both got to win. However, the big sort of difference between sorry, I'm like scrolling through between Soul and Wolfwalkers is they were both in Best Direction, and Wolfwalkers won Best Direction for Tom Moore, which I think is, warranted. I think I would have gone with that too. So, but they still won. Soul and won a lot, like Best Music and Best Character Animation and Best FX for a feature and things like that. Cam Cretaceous won for Best FX for TV/media, as well as things like Primal won a couple, one for TV media and general audience. Hilda won for the Deer Fox episode, actually, specifically. And yeah, the Primal one was Coven of the Damned, which was like my favorite episode, maybe. But Hilda won for the Deer Fox episode, which we actually watched today, which is a great episode. And best and Paddington, Adventures of Paddington, which is another great show, won for best TV media preschool. There was some, and I saw Cartoon Brew and other places bring up that it wasn't like a really wide variety of studios that won. It was mainly like Wolfwalkers and Soul won a lot of them. Looney Tune cartoons did win for best storyboarding, which I think is well deserved. And yeah, it's, it wasn't, wow. Best writing went to Big Mouth. What the fuck? I didn't notice that before. Ugh. Who the fuck? God, I don't like Big Mouth. Anyway, that was a real reaction. I mean, they weren't too surprising. I think the biggest surprise was the direction for Tom Moore. It's not surprising that Gendy's Primal won, and he won for Best Direction in TV Media as well. Sorry. My stream is gross, I guess. Yeah, so Gendy and Tom Moore won, which I think if you were going to say who are the best two animators working today, they would probably be on there. So that makes sense to me. All right. Oh, hey, Ace the Wind Rider. But yeah, I thought they were good. I'm glad for Wolfwalkers. I want Wolfwalkers. I don't think it will win Best Animated Feature, but I want Wolfwalkers to win Best Animated Feature. I think would be the best one. And it's also with Best Animated Feature, I actually think it should be Wolfwalkers, Shaun the Sheep, Soul, those other two. Whatever. All right, so Infinity Train. Infinity Train. We found out because of an AMA with Owen Dennis that even though it is very much, this is from what we are to understand the final season of Infinity Train, which is book 4, which is sad because it seems like a good season as someone who hasn't watched the whole thing. But book 5 apparently was pitched to HBO Max or Warner Media as a movie, which we believe would be focusing on Amelia. And they felt it was canceled because Ryan Walterson. Oh, okay. Okay, if I had known this, Ryan Walterson gives you the first thing to watch the show. I'm sorry, I just didn't have enough time today to really. I should have just had it on the background. It says watch the show on YouTube. It's fun. Also, where else can you see Gendy Tarkovsky and accept an award in the shower? That I'll watch. Okay, I'm not against watching it. It's just there's only so many things I can do in the world. So, but that was a good. Why didn't you tell me that before, Ryan? Anyway, cheers to you, Ryan. That was a good endorsement. But this is the Annie show. You can watch the Annies on YouTube. You should. That was a good reason to watch it. It's a good advertisement. You should be their marketing, right? Infinity Train Book 5 would have focused on Amelia. Apparently they felt at Warner Media that there is no children entry point, which sounds massively gross. But this has become such a firestorm of controversy, I guess, in the animation community, because everyone says, animation shouldn't be one thing, and so forth. First off, I really do have to say, I really love Infinity Train. I've done about 9 videos on it. I reviewed all of the conductor shorts. I did a ranking of the conductor shorts. I reviewed every book. I'm going to have a review out of book 4. I don't know if you've been hearing what's going on in the world this week, but this is a real low controversy in terms of everything that's going on. So I am with you on that, but read the room a little, because it's just I'm just astonished at the tone deafness and I'm in people's reaction to this, as opposed to what's going on in the world. I just wanted to say that because I just feel like sometimes I'm looking at my Twitter feed and someone's I don't know what to do. I'm so afraid for my kids because of the police, and everyone is I'm destroyed because there's not an Infinity Train movie. I'm I don't know if this juxtaposition works for me, but anyway, I just thought that should be said. The other thing is this is a cult show. I know it has been. We don't have any real numbers on it. I know it's doing well. It doesn't seem to be doing. The numbers don't seem to be doing well enough. The kid entry point, I don't agree with that network executive bullshit thing, where you do this thing where well, don't we need to change season 3 so we can get these people in? Once you get past season 1, there's so few people who are going to jump on season 4 if that rarely ever happens. It never happens. So this whole let's appeal to people after all these fucking seasons have happened is so massively stupid. I don't understand why more people go why don't you just do that show, or then just cancel that show. Either one. It seemed to me they maybe didn't believe in it. It might have been I don't know, just a reason they gave to be whatever, we want to go to lunch. That's kind of how it read to me. Hi, Gary. Gary wants to. So if you don't know, guys, I found Gary's Dark City DVD on. I found when Gary moved to LA, I walked by his apartment, which I totally know where that was, and I found his Dark City DVD, and I took it and I watched it and I listened to the Ebert commentary. And you know what? I'm not giving it back because you went to LA without Dark City. You clearly didn't like it that much. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I don't leave my I already had Dark City on DVD. I just rewatched it out of some horrible spite for you. I'm sorry. I did it, and I don't feel bad about it because Dark City rules. Just you'll have to rebuy it in that crappy Warner Brothers cardboard case or whatever. See, I totally know. DVD. I'm sorry about your DVD, Gary. All right, anyway. Sorry. But I do think it's some shitty. The reason that they gave for Training Train Book 5 is some dumb thing an executive said. I just think they didn't care about it. I don't think it goes that fully with it. I don't think the executives there's no. I do think they don't take animation seriously, and there's clearly a promotion problem going on, and it does feel like audiences are there and maybe these executives aren't there. But what's going on with Warner Media is so much different, because you have these AT&T executives messing with it. As much as it feels like other companies are trying to mess in animation, particularly Amazon Prime, which has done really well to promote things and things like that. I don't think HBO Max and Warner Media is there because there's just so much going on corporately. I think there's probably more of that going on. I'm not there. I don't know. But what I will say for the Infinity Train fandom, because constantly people are saying let's get it trending, don't give up. Will it be trending on HBO Max? Which they set an algorithm to that. That has nothing to do with views. Trust me. And it's made for each viewer also. So if you're watching Infinity Train, guess what's gonna be on trending, you guys? Here's the thing: is I mentioned this before, and I'll phrase it differently. When I'm a Mystery Science Theater fan, we're having our second Kickstarter. It looks like that's definitely going to happen. Oh my God, Alex Proyas, that freaking guy. True, Will. True. Will, you would like Gary, by the way. But yes, Alex Proyas. For a little bit, he was like my favorite director. And then iRobot. But cheers to you, Will. I mentioned before, I said buy a trade ad because when Mystery Science Theater of Left Comedy Central was looking for a new home, they bought a trade ad, I believe, in Variety or Hollywood Reporter, and then Sci-Fi Channel picked them up. What does that mean for you now? Because that was like a long time ago, and if you bought an ad in Variety, no one would notice because nobody reads the paper Variety. I think they put it out. Or Hollywood. Maybe they don't. I don't even know, nor do I care. But the other thing with this is that you look at what happened with the Snyder Cut people, and don't think I'm not saying to go to those extremes, but in terms of what they did in terms of billboards and all that stuff, they made you not be able to not hear about them for years. And if you want book 5, buy some shit, man. Like, set up a Kickstarter, raise the money, or like buy out all the ads in Hollywood Reporter, like on the site for a day. Like, how much does that cost? I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, trending on Twitter, AT&T don't care. They're thankful. It does help the show like a microcosm amount, but it's not like look at what they did and reorganize it to fit your own thing. That's how you're going to do it. I don't agree with the HBO Max executives, but there's a lot going on in the world right now. I think I should point out, and I will get to Nat and Box 64 in a point, is that the George Floyd, the guy who killed George Floyd thing, his court case is going to be decided next week. So if you have any timed tweets, now is a good time to like rethink a lot of that stuff, because next week is not going to be a good week. I'm just going to point that out to you right now. It is not going to be a good week. There's no way that's going to be a good verdict. People are going to be upset. It's going to be a weird week. So like, get out your Infinity Train stuff this weekend. Just like read the room a little. That's all I'm saying. It concerns me. I love the cartoon community. I love that you like animation, but there's some weeks that maybe, sorry, it was bothering me a little. Anyway, I'll move on from this. I'm sorry I keep saying that. Natbox 64, you do have to remember the Max original stuff is run by Casey Bloys, the guy that's been with the HBO hub for years. Just saying. Oh, I didn't know that. Thank you for that, Natbox 64. Cheers to you. I hope they're able to bring back a book 5. I'm very happy with what we got. But I think HBO Max just sort of killed it. But it is interesting, like, maybe they should have put it in a different section, because Harley Quinn, I think, is coming back for more, and they seem to be fairly supportive of that, but that's for adults. It felt like maybe the problem with this is, like, it's for this, it feels like animation that's for more of, like, for that, it's like, I feel like the demo was a little too wide for them, and they like to be a little more specific, so, anyway, let's move on. Sorry if I got on that, but it was, yeah. So, I think having a Kickstarter, having a raising money, what Not Plausible is saying is, if you buy all the ads, let's say on Hollywood Reporter, or you buy all, or Variety or Deadline, it would get like reporters who, those Twitters are followed by studio executives, or who write for Collider or Vulture or something like that. Like, it would get attention, get them thinking about it. And a lot of them aren't thinking about Infinity Train, don't even know about it. So that's, you need to raise the awareness. And I think that would be the best way to do it. Or when there are conventions, buying out ads around there, because someone will take a picture and be like, oh, these fans bought Infinity Train, and like make that trending. See what I'm saying? Like, organize it a little. I just think. Anyway, sorry. I'll get off my soapbox. I felt like that got weird, but I don't know. I think Warner Media is a bit of a mess. So I feel like sometimes they're like, look, we've got way too much going on. And I keep hearing the AT&T debt thing. They're in like $80 billion of debt. I don't think Infinity Train can, no media property is getting them out of that debt. Let's just make that clear. It existing or not existing, like, matters nada to that. So Kevin Smith announced that his new film Kilroy Was Here is going to be sold as an NFT, and that he's starting a crypto studio called Jay and Silent Bob, or the Jay and Silent Bob Crypto Studio. So here's the thing. This is horrible. I think. Look, I lost a lot of respect for Kevin Smith with this. I don't know if I like fully. I think he's a fine guy, but I think he was thinking of, hey, this is where technology is going. This is what to do in terms of environment, and not to again be political. But with NFTs, I recently read that with what's going on with data mining with NFTs, in a few years we will actually outdo all the good we have done for the environment with solar panels, like ever. So if you're like sitting there and you're like, hey, are NFTs good for the environment? Or maybe I'm being overly dramatic. I'm not. They're really bad. They are very bad. that like, yeah. Oh, hey, Brandon's here. Hello, Brandon. They're very bad. There's no way they're good. But hold on. Not in Box 64. It did work with the Cinemax show Warrior. So okay, I was confused why. How many people know this Warrior show? It's interesting. Hold on. We're almost killing a Red Bull here. Cheers to you, Not in Box 64. I know nothing of this show. That's interesting. I guess it did work, so I guess I wasn't wrong. My boy Brandon's here. Yes, I'm missing the Jake Paul fight. I didn't know you were watching that. Anyway, I'm glad Brandon's a good guy. I miss you, buddy. So Kevin Smith, the NFT thing, it's really bad for the environment. There's just no bones about it. It is not good. What he's doing with this stuff, I'm really disappointed. I get that he is someone who tries out a lot of different things. This is not there's never going to be a gym NFT, or at least I am not signing off on something like that ever in my entire life. Fuck that shit. Like, we're not, like, I understand, like, I use a lot of electricity to do what I do, and there's probably, like, some moral ramifications of that. But, like, I'm not, like, doing any worse things, and this is clearly worse. Now, there are two different things about the NFT things with this story that I'll get to. But first, we have another super chat. Zane Power says, but Boss Baby said NFT are good, so it must be good. I mean, true, Boss Baby is never wrong. And I know we take that stance on here. But this time, Boss Baby is made a big duty of an investment. Cheers to you. And Will, with that various generous super... Whoa, that Red Bull went down the weird pipe. Sorry. Well, it's a very good super chat, and it's getting the Alex Proyas thing. For some context, wasn't Alex Proyas the dude who freaked out when critics destroyed Gods of Egypt? Have no idea how anyone behind that could consider it an artistic venture. 2016 was a weird year. Gods of Egypt, I sort of love Gods of Egypt. That Chadwick Boseman performance, people shouldn't sleep on that, because that was an amazing... I mean, it's a bad movie, but that was an amazing performance. I didn't know I remember he kind of freaked out. I sort of love that movie for how bad it is. But cheers to you, Will. Thank you for any movie crap like we talk about. Gods of Egypt is a good one. So Kevin James and Gods of Egypt, that's where it's at. Cheers to you. So the first thing with the NFT thing with Kevin Smith is he wants to sell his movie Kilroy Was Here. There's a horror movie. It's done. Basically, he's going to make it available. Anyone can buy it. If you want to buy it and distribute it, or get it distribution, or sell it to a streamer, you can. You're effectively buying the rights like it's a Sundance sale. Or you can buy it like the Martin Shkreli Wu-Tang album. This isn't a joke. This is actually his plan. I want to specify, like, this is not a joke. He has seriously said he's made this movie and someone could buy it. Like, I could buy it and just keep it on a hard drive, and for all of my life, like, laugh at you that I have a Kevin Smith horror movie you can't see. I could theoretically do that. I mean, financially, no, but unless it's like $1. But I'm assuming, I don't know how much this costs, but NFT sounds expensive and movie rights sound expensive. So I'm just going to, like, go out on a limb here. But theoretically, he has said someone could buy it and just put it on their computer, and he wants to make this more available for artists, which makes no sense, because an artist makes a movie for it to be seen, not for it to be kept on a fucking computer, like only for no one to see. Like why are we thinking of the Martin Shkreli Wu-Tang album situation as a distribution model? That's not a distribution model. That's terrible. That's stupid. Like, that's the part that angers me, is because he's trying to pass this off as like, oh yes, you can this is a good way for artists and filmmakers to make money, but it's really not. And then he's doing the crypto studio, which will have a different kind of Bitcoin type exclusive once a month with someone from Jay and Silent Bob, some Jay and Silent Bob type thing. I'm so disappointed in him. And it's funny because he, for so long with his daughter, has been so pro the environment and pro vegetarian and all that stuff. And it just seems like such a weird move for him. I feel like he doesn't really understand what he's doing. I feel like he just thought of the capitalistic things, or maybe he's just like, all that stuff's for show. I really don't know. I just know it was like so disappointing. I heard a bunch of people bring this up, and I think it's worth repeating. Is that a lot of people are like, why doesn't Netflix or some streamer sign a deal with him, and that then he can just put his output on that streamer? And I don't really have a good reason why he's not doing that. They should do that at this point. And I'm wondering if he's so all over the place, like he could never do that. But like, that would work for a Netflix or I don't know. He's just signed with a streamer. This NFT thing sucks. Like, he just needs to get away from it. I hate it. So in other bad financial decision news, the Lord of the Rings show is going to cost Amazon Prime or Amazon General, the first season alone, $465 million. This would be the most expensive TV season ever. I'm not sure what the second one is, but I'm pretty sure there's a big gap there. The thing with the Lord of the Rings show, or the Lord of the Rings Tolkien, whatever it is, it's not really a Lord of the Rings show. It doesn't take place during that time. It takes place before, so some people objected to that. But Amazon Prime, really wants this to be a huge show. They want this to be the next Game of Thrones. Whatever date this has for coming out, that is going to be promoted like really crazy. I would have thought they would have learned their lesson from that last expensive Lord of the Rings thing that was trying to like live up to a fantasy thing, The Hobbit. Remember how that worked out? I mean, the last one I think two of them made $1 billion, if I'm correct. So to me, I guess it makes sense. Oh, hello, we have two super chats in a row here. ToonJ723 says, worst NFT user, Boss Baby or Annoying Orange? I didn't know Annoying Orange did it. I'm just going to say Annoying Orange because he's annoying. Cheers to you, ToonJ723. Natbox64, seems obvious Smith doesn't know what NFT is. Sorry. True, I would say that. Cheers to you. Natbox64. But I know Jeff Bezos, like when they were trying to buy the rights, was personally involved in getting this to work. He really wanted this to work. They want Prime to have a huge hit. Prime is becoming much more formidable. And I didn't get to look at this statistic, but I know like the streaming pie is growing, and the market share that these streamers had is shrinking, even if their user bases are growing. So I think he's looking at this as like, Prime Without Remorse coming out this month, with Michael B. Jordan, with Coming to America, with Borat. They've been doing a really good job, I will say that. But I think with this, I really don't know. They'll have to have a very compelling season to be worth that amount of money. For Amazon, it's like a drop in the bucket. Like, I don't see it mattering that much, but this almost has to do certain like numbers and be a huge hit to spend this kind of money. So I don't know if they'll ever do this again. I'm curious what this means for other shows on Amazon Prime. I know various people are signing bigger deals with them and trying to get more artistic output through them, and it seems like they're just letting them do it. I'm wondering if they end up being a worse situation than Netflix because they have the money to burn and they're not in debt also, unlike Netflix. So it's going to be really interesting to see the ramifications of this for Amazon Prime. That's really what I think about it. But I don't know if this will be the big hit. I think most people were like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, I did say in my tweet it cost 2 Star Wars, and yeah, but this is actually good for a show like Invincible, because they're gonna, people are gonna need people rarely watch one show on a streaming service. They usually, like, when they go on, they want to check out other stuff, and as they see, oh, I like Robert Kirkman from The Walking Dead, I'll watch this other show. So it's actually could be good for the entire service. But yeah, it seems like Amazon Prime is taking this very, very seriously. Okay. Sorry if I'm missing the chat. I'm trying to get to everything. Okay, I want to do a section on YouTube stuff, and the Lindsey Ellis video, but let me just say this: the Avatar series. There is an Avatar series coming on Earth Day, April 22nd. To my understanding, it's a fan thing. Some people are saying it's not. Some people are saying it's an official thing with fans. I don't know. We don't really know much until Monday. We'll know on Monday, so I'll probably cover it next week, but there is this thing growing. Oh, I forgot one thing about the Lord of the Rings thing. Nanbox64 says, Amazon is very rich, so they don't care. That is true. Cheers to you, Nanbox64. Thank you for the super chat again. I forgot, I wanted to bring this up actually, because it's hilarious. So when this Lord of the Rings thing was announced, and there was all this, like, things, they spent so much money. There's so many classic film people who brought up, like, guys, this is going to be like what happened to all these studios back in the day. No one ever learns, when they went bankrupt with Cleopatra and, like, Intolerance in the silent era. And I was, like, in the comments going, like, I feel like this is not the same as that. Like, do you understand how big Amazon is? And they're like, no, if they spend this will bankrupt Prime. And I'm like, it won't, because they're Amazon. Are you for real? Like, is this, and, like, I kept seeing that take, and it eventually, like, I noticed it has not lived on, because it was, like, real stupid, but I used to see that everywhere on, like, classic film people. It was, like, so funny. I was like, guys, like, please don't talk. Like, you sound stupid. So I do remember that. I wanted to tell someone about that, because I was like, oh, this is embarrassing, guys. What was I going to say? So my YouTube section. So I did see the Lindsey Ellis mask off video. Like I said on Twitter, I'm sorry I referenced that I have a Twitter so much. I think it is sort of bookends the whole thing. I think she quelled a lot of controversy. Ryan, I was trying to be serious, and now you made me laugh. Okay, I love where there's a whip, there's a way. When there's a whip, there's a way a lot. Okay, Ryan Welch just said, no adaptation will top Rankin Bass Return of the King with the orcs singing. When there's a whip, there's a way. That's true. I'm not going to disagree with that. Cheers to you, Ryan. I reviewed all those. Oh my god. I love the animated Lord of the Rings. If Saber ever reviews those, you know it's my fault. Trust me. I want it to happen. So, let's try not to be goofy until I get through the Lindsey Ellis part. So I've watched the video. I did not tweet anything until I'd watched the entire video, because I thought that was fair. I do feel like it bookends a lot of controversies that have been going on with her for years. I didn't know about the particular one that was the big one. I had never heard of that before that video. A lot of them I hadn't heard of. She obviously gets, the brunt of it from everyone. I do think a lot of what led to that thing was a lot of different things converging at once, between, like, the campaign against Asian hate to her being very much late on the Raya thing, for her just not simply apologizing, which I think she should have just said, you know what, I really screwed up on this, I'm very sorry. I thought it was probably the best apology video I've ever seen, because I think when you look at those when you look at apology videos, you kind of see the person crying, and by, like, Thursday you're like, oh yeah, that thing, yeah, that was funny, I guess. And like, it doesn't mean anything. And this, like, I still hear people talking about. Like, I do think she made like a significant artistic decision, which I think a lot of those apology videos are not. I think it was very good. Now, I wanted to bring up two kind of controversies that I've noticed that are worth mentioning. And then we're going to move on from this because it's not a drama channel, but I think it's something that people aren't bringing up a lot. She showed tweets during this video. And a couple of the tweets, not all of them, but some of the tweets were from people who are not, like, how she said in the video, like, basically, like, white people who are kind of over, I guess it's virtue signaling or whatever it is, basically, like, acting offended because of racism. There were some African-American film writers and Hispanic Twitter users, and even a Twitter user who said she referred to someone as being like Diet Nazi close to his tweet, and he's Jewish. So I thought when I saw those, like, well, I guess she like checked those profiles. I was wondering if that was part of their process. It doesn't look like it was. And I don't agree when documentaries do that and they kind of like do that thing where they get the reaction and then you later find out like that person like does not actually agree with that. They just got the reaction they wanted and they move on. And I know that's a trope that people do. I don't personally agree with it. I don't know like how her decision behind those. I sort of object to that personally, but I did see like I clicked on the Twitter user who would then post it and to check myself before I talked about it on here. And it seemed like they would not be someone I would include in something like that if I knew that info, but that's her decision. And I do think the thesis of her video is basically like, I don't care anymore. So you could say her thesis of the video means she wouldn't care. So I guess that's null and void. I've seen a lot of black film Twitter bring this up a lot. In particular, they didn't like her smugness. That kept coming up a lot and saying they clicked off after about 45 minutes because they couldn't stand it. I don't personally agree with clicking off something like if I'm going to speak about it or being upfront about it. They were all upfront actually, to be perfectly honest with you, but they didn't like the tone. I can't disagree with that. I thought it was a little smug before you get to the parts that really hit you, obviously. But there has been a lot of objections to that. There's some former friends of her who have objected to certain things. I don't know how true or not true that is, but it seems like there's been some issues with her before, and there's something about like they were trying to say she should be a little more what was it they were trying to warn her about like they felt like this was going to happen soon. I kept saying that seemed to be like I don't understand who those people were and where they were warning her. Like that seemed confusing to me, but overall I think I'll get to not in box 64. I think what she did is fine. I think the only controversy I see brewing is from Black Film Twitter, who seems to not wish she had just sort of apologized and don't like that she made like this hour and 45-minute thing. And I sort of agree. Like I would have just said, I'm sorry, that was not appropriate, so forth. So I don't necessarily personally agree with it, but that's what she chose to do. I thought it was a good video overall, but doing those things with the tweets, I don't agree with. And, having like Black Film Twitter be constantly like feel like they were the only ones objecting, so I that's what I think. So and or like I know Dom Griffin and I the Armchair Auteur were talking on Twitter and mentioning how she says, well, I'm small potatoes, but then in a previous video she talks about how she's one of the biggest people on Patreon, and a lot of people are noticing there was sort of like a narrative thing going on in certain cases. I don't know what was going on there. I'm not trying to claim anything, but there are some like holes in there that a lot of people have questioned. Also, when you make something that long or something like that, there's a lot of info to take in and poke holes in and so forth. So, but I think honestly, whatever her next video should be, do not do the Avatar Riot thing. Let's put that there. It seemed like she wasn't. But I think she should do a different video and we should all move on and so forth. I'm not sure if this is I'm sprinkling breadcrumbs kind of thing for another story. Part of me is wondering if this goes somewhere or if this is the end of it. And a lot of people actually who I talked to who were people of color had bring up, was anyone of Southeast Asian descent actually offended? Because that is actually a good point. We haven't actually really heard from very many people. who were offended from that. It's just kind of the insinuation that possibly happened, which she said herself. So I think, I don't know, but the tweet thing, you kind of can't, that's a little shady. I will say that. Anyway, it was a fine video. I wish her the best. I don't know her. I don't think she knows who I am. I wasn't in that video, thank God. So anyway, NatInBox64, to get me very much off topic. I think to answer Rise of Lita, I think it was just because I think it was just something that didn't mesh well with people, but whatever. That's all. I think just because of that. Let's move on. My hot take from NatInBox64, even though it almost killed Fox, I think Cleopatra is a good film that didn't deserve all the hate. At least IMO. That's true. I agree with that, NatInBox64. Cheers to you. Two more YouTube things. Jamie Kennedy has a YouTube channel. I'm not a big Jamie Kennedy fan. Next video is a react to this. Oh God, I hope not. Jamie Kennedy has a YouTube channel. I'm not a big Jamie Kennedy fan. Oh, is that true? You can't even see Raya? Jesus. Okay. So maybe you'll see Raya and then go, oh, now we're offended. So she has to wait to that. No, I'm joking. Sorry. So Jamie Kennedy has a YouTube channel. He's been doing these things where it's like how I got cast in Scream, how I got cast in Scream 2, which is actually a whole different story. Believe it or not, how I got cast in this and that. And he also is doing a series on the making of Son of the Mask. He's only done part 1. He put out a couple of weeks ago. He needs to do another one. But those videos are good. I don't like most of his other content, but his how I got cast and stuff is really good. I would recommend those. I'm interested in more of the Son of the Mask thing. The other thing is Patrick Wilson, who I know Nathaniel Fogas asked me to watch his videos and so forth, and I think I have a Patreon question about that. He made a video on Dick Tracy. I actually have a review of what's called the Dick Tracy special. That's going to be a throwback video of the week this week. But there's more info on why Warren Beatty made the Dick Tracy special, and almost makes you sort of understand why he did it when you hear like why he needed to hold the rights and so forth. You can check that out. It'll be on the community tab probably on Sunday. I'm going to do it differently because of the other streams and so forth. But I just thought I'd mention that because I'm like the only person maybe who's reviewed the Dick Tracy special a while ago. So, and it didn't only air once. He kind of just took the basic info on it. He didn't go more into all the stuff, but it's interesting. All right. Alfred Molina, moving on. I'll do Alfred. Alfred Molina, hopefully I don't run out of time here. Alfred Molina talked about how in Spider-Man No Way Home, he's playing Dr. Octopus again, and it'll take place right after Spider-Man 2 ended. So Spider-Man 2 in Spider-Man 2 we thought he was dead. Apparently he's not dead, because John Watts made the comment that no one really dies no one really dies in Marvel movies, which I think I'd mentioned in another thing before. But Alfred Molina said he shows up, there's some de-aging stuff, and he was like, it doesn't really matter what I physically look like or move like, because the arms do all the work, which is true if you remember that movie. I think it'll be cool to see him again. It's interesting it takes place then. I feel like everyone is like, oh, Kevin Feige's probably so pissed. I'm like, it's a pretty big publication. I feel like they definitely called him or something like that. I don't think this like slipped by Marvel or something like that, but it sounds really cool and I'm excited for that. The writer of Predator is suing Disney. The thing with this is screenwriters are suing these studios so they can get the rights back to their properties. It's like a copyright thing. We talked about this a while ago. This is also why Friday the 13th isn't getting any more movies, because of lawsuits following that. The complication with this is because of the different date of when the screenplay was sold versus when the movie was made. So Disney thought they had a couple of years until they had to give the rights back or figure out a legal agreement, whereas the screenwriters are saying, no, we're going off of an earlier date. However, they filed a lawsuit a couple of years ago saying they hadn't to this date, and Disney did nothing. And now Disney's like, oh shit, we probably should have responded to that. And so now they're suing them, and it's a big mess. We'll see what happens. Right now, it's just up in the air, but I think just give them back the rights, but Disney is not really into giving people intellectual copyright. So Star Wars Detours. We heard a rumor, and I retweeted it just to be funny, even though I should have just said, I don't think this is very confirmable, that Star Wars Detours would be released on Disney Plus on May 4th, or May the 4th be with you as we know it. I don't think that is going to happen, really. I think it could. I know we've heard talks about that. I trigger my I trigger your PTSD. That's a weird, Dave. That's a strange one. I don't think Detours, especially this one. There's no editing now. But I don't think Detours will come out. I know there's been talk of they might do something with it. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a surprise release, which I think would make the internet go crazy. We haven't heard an official release. It sounds like it's just a rumor. But with what they released recently, I understand why there's a certain there's a feeling it might happen. But it feels like the Christmas special and the specialized cuts are are kind of the things that people want released most on Disney Plus that are Star Wars things. It feels like Detours is the easiest, less complicated one because I don't think George Lucas buried it. I think Disney buried it. So I also do we get that Detours is not going to be good? Like a Robot Chicken for little kids. That sounds like a bad show to me. That's the part of this I've never understood. I get that people are they might have worked hard or something, but it sounds like it's going to not be good. From everything we've seen, this looks like a bad thing. I get liking Lost Media because you haven't seen it, but there's no indication that this is good. This is not going to be good. Anyway, I mean, I think it would be cool if they just put it out because it shows the Star Wars that I think I said in Blast Points, the podcast I listened to about Star Wars, that show talked about the Star Wars convention before Disney bought it, and the big announcements were Angry Birds is doing a thing with Star Wars and Star Wars Detours. They're doing funny things with the property. There was no new things going on. So it's reminiscent of a Star Wars that got erased real quick. So, I don't think it's going to be great, but we'll see. I don't think it's going to be released. So this is the big Magnificent Amberson news. There's actually Magnificent Ambersons news, but Zane Powers says Robot Chicken for little kids was called Mad. Cheers to you. Good call, Zane Powers. Good call. Brandon, I do have an Instagram. It should be in the description of this video. Everyone should check it out. Do you have an Instagram? If you follow me, I will follow you. So this is actual Magnificent Amberson news. I'm not joking. So basically, this will eventually be in when I make my last film file on Magnificent Ambersons. This filmmaker Joshua Grossberg has been looking for the lost footage of Magnificent Ambersons. He has been looking for this since the mid-90s. If anyone finds it, it deserves to be this guy. But he got Turner Classic Movies to partner with Josh Grossberg to help fund his exhibition, him going to Brazil, which got delayed because of COVID. That's how long this has been going on, for real. And he says that if he gets the footage, they're going to restore it and play the new restored Magnificent Ambersons on Turner Classic Movies and play his documentary. If they don't, which almost every classic film person I've talked to doesn't think they will. If they don't, they'll still pay for the documentary. So, obviously, because they committed to it. So I think, so this Lost Film File I'm working on, I've actually all filmed. I have to refilm a part, which is this news story. So this continues to go on, which is interesting. I hope it works out for him. Almost everyone I talked to was oh, are you okay? Because your thing is changing as you're working on it. But yeah, I do hope his documentary works out. He seems like a nice guy, but he definitely deserves to get. He deserves to find it. If anyone on this earth, he spent so much time. I hope he finds it. I don't think he will. And also, if you're wondering, if he does find it, I will. If I get the video out before he finds it, I will change it it is ever found and like re-edit it and have an ending or something like that. That's my plan right now. So there's going to be a Gundam movie from written by Brian K. Vaughan and directed by Jordan Vaught Roberts, who directed Kings of Summer, which is all right, and Kong Skull Island, which is a lot better. That sounds really cool. It's going to be on Netflix everywhere except China, because Legendary is going to release in China in theaters. But it is, the Gundam movie sounds really cool. Has a good writer, has a good director. I think that, from my understanding, this is based on Mobile Suit Gundam, the first series. I'm not sure about that, but I think a lot of people I know said that they felt Kong Skull Island was the best of the MonsterVerse stuff before Godzilla vs. Kong, at least. And I always heard praise for him as a director, especially with the big budget stuff, and I think this is a cool thing for him. We'll see if it happens. It feels like he has a lot of projects that are announced that don't, but if this does, this sounds really cool. That sounds really cool to me. I do have to hurry up. I am actually running out of time. I went too long on too many things. I'm sorry. I don't know if you've heard about what's going on with Georgia and their restrictive voting laws, but there's been a lot of blowback on movie studios who film there and get various tax breaks and do very well in Georgia. And that's always been a concern in Georgia when it came to their abortion laws and all their shitty conservative laws, and that all these Hollywood studios go there and shoot their big blockbusters like Black Panther. All the Marvel stuff's filmed there, things like that. That's also why, I don't know if you knew this, the reason you see that big Georgia logo in Falcon Winter Soldier and Adult Swim stuff, if you show the logo, part of your contractual agreement to get those tax incentives means you have to put that logo at that certain place. That's not a joke. That's a real thing. But the Will Smith Anton Fuqua runaway slave movie Emancipation has said they are leaving Georgia. They didn't feel right making that film in Georgia. When that happened, that put a pressure on another film that's supposed to start filming in Georgia on July, which would be Black Panther 2. Ryan Coogler said on Friday that Black Panther 2 will not be moving. Most people, there's kind of two takes on this, because he said he is going to be working with protest groups and education and trying to fight this law, which I commend him on trying to do that. A lot of people just said Disney was never going to let him move this thing, so he's fucking stuck, which I think is probably the real case, but he's at least trying to do something. In my mind, it's like, well, look, he's directing what's obviously a really tough shoot, but I think if he says that, then you got to do that, man. You know what I mean? I think Black Panther represents a lot to the black community, and for you to stay in Georgia, I understand that not everyone, I've talked to people who make things in Georgia, they do not all agree with those laws, and it's not fair to say that they do. And I get that you're actually, that's also a case that's been made that there's a lot of African Americans who get their start in film through Georgia and through that production pipeline, and cutting that off because of that law is actually like hurting more than you're helping. And maybe he went through that route. I don't know, but that was the decision. He said he's going to help those charities and so forth. I would like to see what he actually did, or what the Black Panther 2 production actually did. I think they will do something, but as of right now, I have heard nothing. So, but it has been, they announced it like late Friday, so like we can chill on that, but I'm curious to see a follow-up on that. No offense to him. It sounds like he's, Black Panther 2 does not sound easy. So in Disgraced People news, Harvey Weinstein is blind and losing teeth. Good for him. Scott Rudin, who there was the story about last week, we talked about that. He is finally hearing repercussions. There was sort of a story with him and Broadway. Broadway's trying to come back, obviously. He has a big Music Man production with Sutton Foster and Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman does not really want to say he was going to step down if Scott Rudin left, mostly because the other thing about the story is Broadway is trying to make a comeback with this musical, and if this musical falls apart, Broadway is kind of fucked. So Hugh Jackman knew he couldn't just leave. Sutton Foster, you know what? She is not Hugh Jackman. She said she would leave, so I respect her game on that one. But from my understanding, what I've read, Hugh Jackman kind of knew he could really just like collapse an entire industry if he bounced. So he was not going to do that. So a little bit more on the line for him, But Scott Rudin has stepped down and will be stepping down from most of his Broadway productions. We haven't heard much on the movie side, and only Megan Ellison has fought against him. We'll see what happens there. And then the Hank Azaria apology. Oh man, I'm gonna have to cut. Jesus. Well, we might run long on this one, guys. The Hank Azaria apology. He said he feels he's finally basically said something not problematic about Apu, feeling he should apologize to basically every Indian for Apu. It's nice that he is apologizing finally. I'm not sure what took him so long. I'm glad that he is. I liked Apu growing up, but it's pretty clearly it was offensive after that documentary and stuff. I wish he'd been a little more proactive earlier, but he did. I know John Cleese said a thing, but like John Cleese is great, but like he needs to not do the anti-PC thing. It doesn't smell well. Been surprised it took that long with Scott Rudin. I am too, not in Box 64. I am too. Cheers to you. Man, I have a couple like major stories to talk about actually. So, okay. Joe Cornish is directing a new movie called Starlight. Now, I will say the thing with Joe Cornish is he announces a lot of projects that don't happen or he doesn't get involved, but this sounds like it would. I have heard a lot of people defending the kid who was king or whatever it was called. I shot a review for it. I've never edited it. I need to do that. And directed Attack the Block. I've heard a lot of people say like he's a great director, so they're excited for this. This is part of the Mark Millar thing. It's with 20th Century Studios. It centers on a superhero who saved the universe 35 years ago. But when he came back to Earth, no one believed his fantastic stories. He's married, had kids, and settled into old age, but then his old rocket ship shows up and he is called back for one fantastic adventure. That sounds really cool to me. I hope it works out for Joe Cornish. I would like to see him make more movies. John Cleese supported J.K. Rowling. It's disappointing. The kid who would be king. Thank Daniel Vasquez. There we go. Glad you got your second vaccine. Now, could you go watch Mortal Kombat on the big screen next week with your daughter? No, she can't get a vaccine for a while. I will be watching Mortal Kombat, but I'll be watching it at home. But cheers to you anyway, Daniel Vasquez. I appreciate the super chat. Cheers to you. The kid will be king. I don't think it's the final one. There is also a lost film file I have filmed at the old apartment. It might be in the old setup in that. There's a couple. I have a Towering Inferno review. I have a couple things, so there'll be more. All right, so the Cartoons program is coming back. Where is it coming back to? Is a little indecisive about that, but it is coming back to focus on showcasing more diverse voices and other voices who make animation and stuff. Cartoon was a great show when it was on. I wish the show would come back. I loved watching that show in the 90s. It was always a lot of fun. I remember watching the first one actually. But this one seems like they're going to focus on more diverse things, different kinds of cartoons, things like that, which sounds like really amazing. I'm actually kind of excited for what they do with it. It says they might even give some global distribution throughout Warner Media if they're good enough. I'm not exactly sure. It seems like they're very opaque about it. Like, oh, well, maybe if this one is good for this region, it seems like they will be making different kind of things with it, but they're not so keen on it. I'm curious if they'll make a separate section on HBO Max, things like that. It's more just like, here's the idea, and I'm like, I want to see them do something with the idea. So right now it's like, that's cool. What's coming of this? Like, what are we getting from this? And they also mentioned, like, I thought Cartoons was over before like Steven Universe happened. They kept mentioning that. I don't know, but we'll see about that. The ArcLight and Pacific Theaters and the Cinerama Dome were closed this week. That is, of course, a major news story. The thing with the ArcLight thing, I've noticed like some people are tremendously shitty to people on Twitter, and it's like, I get people don't love LA necessarily, but try to be nice to people. Like, Jesus, like I saw some real, and no one here, but it's just like I saw some real shitty behavior from people on Twitter. So like people like, oh, who cares about this theater I hear so much about and stuff. It's just like people lost their jobs. Like, I understand it's like kind of a rich person theater from my understanding, but like, anyway, have some sympathy. From what I heard, it was offered an eviction notice. They were closed. No one's sure if people are going to buy these theaters theater chains, but it sounds like they are not coming back. There's some rumors Netflix might buy the ArcLight because they're right there. To my understanding, these companies are not that interested in them. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I think we're going to hear of more theater chains closing down and more theaters closing down. And it might not just be now, because I've seen businesses like near where I work and stuff that opened for a few months and now are gone because they couldn't survive. So we might not, the ramifications of this in terms of theater are not over. Like there's going to be I know there's theaters that have been bulldozed since this thing, like that are less, like the ArcLight was so talked about because of its position in LA and so forth. But this is not a problem that's going away. This is a problem that's only going to get worse. So we're just going to have to keep seeing this thing over and over again. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen to your theater, but I'm sorry that everyone it happened to. I think the Cinerama Dome, I hope someone comes along and buys it. Seems like the only filmmaker, and you got to give him credit for that, who actually supported a theater was Quentin Tarantino, who bought the New Beverly. So a lot of people were saying, can another filmmaker do that? It seems like no other filmmaker wants to do that. But I props to him for actually doing it when he wanted to. I hope someone else does for the other ones, but we'll see what happens there. But the Cinerama Dome, I mean, there are filmmakers who do fight over getting their films in there, like Tarantino did with Hateful Eight and so forth. And finally, this is the last thing before we get to trailers and stuff. Man, we are running late tonight. Kevin James. This oh wait, we have a Nattenbach 64 thing. Nattenbach says, my favorite lost media story will always be the one related to Passion of Joan of Arc. That is a good one, Nattenbach 64. That is a good one. And cheers to you, by the way. I don't want to get into now, but that is a good one. I don't think Elmo Dravo is going yet, but be concerned. But he is playing... Kevin James is playing this guy named... hold on. It's in an Adam Sandler movie. He's playing this guy playing Sean Payton. I cannot talk about sports things, but basically he had to be suspended for being a football coach because he did a thing that football coaches aren't supposed to do. I don't know. I don't understand what that is. But he was, and he apparently volunteered as an assistant coach for his son's football team in Dallas called the Warriors. And he gets to reevaluate his life choices and spend time with his son and be the assistant football coach and stuff like that. It sounds like a thing Kevin James could do very well. And it's supposed to be based on real life. And he finally gets to meet his son while being the assistant football coach. So, it sounds like Space Jam 2, just without, the aliens and stuff. So trailers and stuff. Here are the trailers we had this week. We had some good ones. Watch that one. We have the Godzilla Singular Point trailer. This looked better than the Godzilla animated movies. I'm curious about this anime. I hope it turns out to be pretty cool. The Army of the Dead trailer also looked pretty good. I was very much into that. The zombie tiger, like holy shit. And what's his name? Dave Bautista's like dad mood of the whole like wearing the glasses and things like that. That was pretty neat. The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard looked fine. I didn't see the first one. It looked like a big studio movie. There's the 50 Years of Sesame Street special, which comes out at the end of the month. That trailer looked cool. I'm excited for that special. The Borat reports kind of, I guess because movies can't have DVD special editions, this is like what we get, a different kind of special of Borat footage for Amazon Prime. Looked fun. We also got the Monday trailer. It's kind of a drama starring Sebastian Stan. Props to him and the film distributor for using his moment as the Winter Soldier, where everyone's talking about him, and getting small indie movies some publicity. I think that's really cool. As well as the Flashback trailer, which was originally the education of Frederick Fitzel, which I had talked about before, has now been retitled Flashback. If Will's still watching, this is what we talked about, because I watched it and go, wait, this isn't called Flashback. What the fuck is this? It's with Dylan O'Brien with a drug that like makes you perceive time differently or something. It actually looks pretty cool. I think Dylan O'Brien's making some interesting choices between this and Love and Monsters. I'm curious how people are going to perceive him in 10 years, because he has an interesting filmography. I'll say that. Like he's really trying to have a diverse filmography in terms of subject matter. So I'm curious about that one. And Kippo is going to be on DVD, which I don't understand why that's such a big deal. Wouldn't Blu-ray be a bigger deal? But if you like that show, it's good to support it. I'm going to just run through things that I want to talk about really quickly, so I apologize if I miss stuff because I spent too long on things and I'm a big stupid. All right, it looks like Mark Romanek might have a new movie called Motherland. We'll see. He announces so many things, and I don't know. I liked 1 Hour Photo. I didn't like his second one, as people seem to like. So Sam Mendes is doing a movie that takes place in a 80s movie theater, an old cinema on the south coast of England, starring Olivia Colman. That sounds really cool to me, and it's going to be shot by Roger Deakins. So it's a Sam Mendes movie in a movie theater on the coast of England. In this household, that's like the biggest movie. That's so cool. I'm so into that. There's a film called... So this Ryan Gosling story has been misinterpreted a lot, and I wanted to clarify it a little bit. Neon bought the rights to a Ryan Gosling film called The Actor. It's being directed by the co-director of Anomalisa, not Charlie Kaufman. Charlie Kaufman is involved as an executive producer or something. No one seems to be sure if this is stop motion or not. It's very unclear. It is not the same film. The Stuntman he's making with David Leitch, that is a separate movie. That sounds like a good live action movie. This, The Actor, which is a different thing, sounds like a good stop motion movie. They are separate movies to just star Ryan Gosling. I just want to clear that up because I read some things. I'm like, wait, what? And I was confused. Justin Timberlake is going to be playing Chuck Ferris in an Apple series. I don't understand how that makes any sense or how that would work, but I will watch a trailer. Oh, okay. We're still not too off. Okay, I can do this. I did have to skip some stuff. I'm sorry there were too many big things, I guess. I hope I didn't miss something you wanted me to talk about. Maybe if you have a question, ask me. Kristen Wiig and Amy Mumolo are writing a movie for Disney. I'm assuming Disney Plus, probably, about the stepsisters in Cinderella. The two you know of. They will not be playing the stepsisters. Those will be played by younger actresses. But they are writing this film. They, of course, wrote Bridesmaids and then Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar, which apparently is number 3 on Redbox still, which is interesting, and did very well, but no one's sure what the numbers are, apparently. But Chuck Ferris did The Gong Show. If you've seen Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, which is a cool movie. It's kind of how Sam Rockwell kind of got known. He was around, but that's what really broke him out. Watch that. It's written by Charlie Kaufman, directed by George Clooney. It's sort of weird. It's not that weird of a movie, but thinking about that movie now is very weird. But this Cinderella movie sounds kind of interesting to me. I really like their 2 movies, so I wouldn't be surprised on that. And 2 things. Todd Field, who we really haven't heard from in a long time. He directed In the Bedroom and Little Children. I'm like the only person who's seen Little Children and not In the Bedroom. He is going to be directing a film called Tar with Cate Blanchett. We really haven't heard from him in like 15 years or something in terms of directing. He almost directed a film with Daniel Craig, and that was almost going to go, and then Daniel Craig got involved in that big Netflix Knives Out deal, and his Daniel Craig movie that he'd been trying to make for like a long time fell apart, and so now he's finally getting this other movie made. So his like passion project actually fell apart because of Knives Out, which is an interesting side Knives Out story that in a way I think it helped Todd Field finally get something off the ground because he was like involved in this movie that was not going anywhere. And then finally, and this is something I haven't seen a ton about, and it is sad that City of Ghosts, the Netflix show, looks like it is not coming back from season 2, which we've seen from the creator on Twitter and various artists on Twitter. That's another thing I do have to say is I've noticed when these people complain about like their shows, people said, oh, it wasn't mainstream and stuff, and like attacking them. Like, why don't you say, hey, it was a cult show, but I really liked it? Like, it just seems like they're getting, I don't know. I like City of Ghosts. It's a chill kid show, which we don't really get enough of anymore. Like most kid shows are way too high energy, are really like waking the kids up and everything. This was like a perfect like chill out show. I really like City of Ghosts. I need to watch more of it with Sophie. I think it's a great show actually. And there's only really one little kid show like it. Like in all seriousness, its uniqueness I think has made it really special. So, I know there's a lot of talk this week because of the Infinity Train thing of like promoting animated shows and like what shows. I want to say this about that also is Nick Tendo said something that I really agree with, where he's like, you shouldn't feel compelled to talk about a show just to give it attention because it's not being promoted enough. And I agree with that. I do feel like there's so many animated things, we can't talk about them all. And there's certain things that after a certain point fall through the cracks or never get the proper attention. And like, I've never given a review of City of Ghosts, for example. Maybe I should. But as a content creators, we can't feel like we can cover everything. And we can't, because it's just like way too much media at this point. But yeah, think of that as well. But I will feel sad for City of Ghosts, but because I thought that was a great kid show. I think I've never seen such a good low-key kid show, and I hope like somebody nabs that creator up, because I thought they made good stuff. Another Nattenbach 64 says that Little Children is super underrated. That is true. Cheers to you, Nattenbach 64. Thank you for the generosity tonight. All right, we have 2 obits, and then I'm taking a break. I have 2 cool things for the break thing. Obits, Helen McCrory, who died of lost her battle with cancer recently. She was in Harry Potter, Skyfall, great British actress. You've probably seen her in a bunch of stuff. Wife of Damian Lewis, but sadly she died this past week. As well as Felix Celia, who played Cousin It on The Addams Family and had an illustrious long character actor career in Hollywood. They will both be missed. And I have a super chat from Zane Powers. It's almost like companies should promote shows more. Thank you, Zane Powers. And cheers to you. That's very true. All right, so I have 2 things. I have this thing I shot that I think is cool. It's not going to last long, but I wanted to show it to someone, I guess. So I thought it was cool. This is literally going to take 20 seconds. Hold on. Okay, hold on. OBS is being... Okay. Cut. And then... Okay, so that was that. Sorry. I just thought that looked cool and I wanted to show it to someone. I don't know if I'll use it for an intro or something, or an outro. I was just like, this is cool. I'll just show it on my stream there. And then, of course, we have a... yeah, it should be just a bumper, right? It should just be a cool bumper. I just thought it'd be a cool thing there. I don't know. I thought it was kind of neat, right? It's kind of worth showing. I don't know if I'll do something with it. But all right, here's an Ace the Wind Rider original. Oh, Jared's here. Hello. I like that you're. He's like been in my comments since like I don't know when. He's a hardcore gym watcher right there. I like to see you in here, man. All right, I'm gonna fade to this fan art from Ace the Wind Rider. Going to use the bathroom real quick, and then we'll talk about Falcon Winter Soldier episode 5, and then get into Toonami the Intruder. All right, there we go. That's Ace Wind Rider. That's cool. The emotions of Jim. I'll be right back. Adult Jim. I like that. Hey, Jared, if you want to put a link in the... Oh, I gotta... Hold on. If you want to put a link into it, he's a good artist, by the way. He works on some cool stuff. I won't talk about him too much, but if you want to put a link to a YouTube channel or whatever... Anyway. All right. He makes some good stuff. Hold on. Say, I have... Oh, Cornbread posts... Okay, I will react to this and then... Because we are kind of... This is cool. This is cool. This Infinity Train. Oh, man. I would post it, but I don't have enough time to... Maybe next week. I'll put that in next week. I'm going to save that for next week. All right. Oh, non-mods can't post links? I didn't know that. Well, anyway. Apologies, Jared. He does some good stuff. He's a good guy. I was just surprised. Sorry, you surprised me, man. All right. Sorry to talk you up so much. So let's talk about Winter Soldier episode 5. I'm going to write spoilers in the chat. I will do the clap thing if you don't want, because there are a lot of spoilers for this one. Obviously. Did I hear a cat? Do you hear a cat? No. Okay, that's Buster. I'm gonna get Buster. I'll be right back. Yes, you can Google Jared. That's good. That's good advice. Okay. Sorry. Buster was stuck in a room. All right, so let's talk about, let me drink some water, episode spoilers for Falcon Winter Soldier. If you haven't seen it, I'll put spoilers in the chat. And I'll do this. If you want to, basically, if you want to mute it and just have me muted, you can wait till I do the hand clap. But there, see? And I'll do it again at the end, and I'll hopefully remember to do it correctly. All right. So, Falcon Winter Soldier, episode 5. The thing with this is there's a lot to like about this episode. There really is. I'm not joking about that. There is a lot to like. But here's the thing. This episode is a mess. And I think it shows, much like the famous quote from Billy Wilder, you don't have third act problems, you have first act problems. And that is what is happening here. Because you see a lot of stuff going on. Like this, it basically, like, the structure of this episode is like ending the plot line almost with the U.S. agent Walker plot line with that epic fight, which I did think was interesting. You have them, Falcon Winter Soldier fighting, if you compare it to the Bucky Cap fight at the end of Civil War. The interesting... Buster's like, scratch me, please. The interesting thing about that fight, I thought, which was interesting if you compare them to Winter Soldier and Cap, it's almost simpatico in terms of their fighting. Like, they just, like, have it exactly. And in this, like, him and Falcon take a while to work as a team, and when it works well. But it's almost like one wants to do it, and it's like doesn't really match up, and then when it does, they do that cool move. So that was interesting. I like when their fighting style matched their character dynamic. I thought that was actually a really good moment, and especially the beginning with Walker. But then it ends, and then you have, the Walker thing at the beginning was great, but you have the thing Zemo's gone with the Wakandans. And the whole thing with, the Julie Louis-Dreyfus, if you didn't want to spoil it, now I'm spoiling it, the Julie Louis-Dreyfus thing. And that was fine, but it's almost like the season ended, in a sense, and it's not over. There's another episode. And then everything with the boat I did really like, and sorry if I'm, like, playing with Buster underneath her. I do really like the boat and that line from Bucky, where you have the thing where he's like, "Why didn't you use your metal arm?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't think of it because I'm not. It's not my dominant hand." That was good screenwriting, and I like that Bucky was flirting with Falcon's sister. It was really funny. That I enjoy. That character stuff I enjoyed, but the whole thing, and I've been complaining about this for a while, and I have actually seen a lot of black writers talk about this quite a bit with Falcon, is they don't like how people are writing. They don't like how film writers are talking about it. They don't particularly like how they use racism in this show, everything like that. So I want to explain a little bit of that. The awkward line reading of Bucky is this. Bucky was sort of not around during the whole civil rights moment. So a movement like in the 60s, not the Black Lives Matter stuff. Like he's probably seen some of that, but like the, depending on the snap and how that all, whatever. But you know, he knows more of the modern stuff, but he didn't live through a lot of that. So the way the Winter Soldier talks about race is probably not going to be the most nuanced in the world. And so he's basically like a 1940s guy talking about it. So of course that's going to be awkward and weird. And that's why I thought that like worked actually when he brings that up. So I didn't think it was a bad line read. I just thought they considered like, how would he be able to talk about this stuff? Like he probably isn't going to do it that great. And I thought he did fine for like a 1940s guy, but you know, I think that should be considered. However, the other thing is Falcon and Winter Soldier have such different dynamics on here because we understand the specifics of why the Winter Soldier is upset and who he is. And the whole Winter Soldier thing and his trauma, we have specifics on that with Winter Soldier. With Falcon, we don't. Like he gets into like the legacy of African Americans in America. But what is Falcon's, like we keep saying like, I get it, I know. That doesn't work on a character level. Like when you're watching this, we need a specific, like if he had a shitty gym teacher or a commander or something. And I don't necessarily need a full scene showing me like torture porn or something. But I mean, we need something. And it's just like, he's just dealing with all of racism. Is a bit like, it's like he doesn't give up the shield because of something for him. He does it because he thinks of giving up because of Isaiah. Like I wish they fleshed that out more, and I think that's the kind of why people are not liking as much, because Falcon is a character in this, but he's almost not being treated the same way Winter Soldier is. And I wish we had more, like if it was just his dad who sucked or something, like he doesn't in the show apparently, but you know, like something like a certain person or an experience like we could flash back to, or you know, we just don't have it. And it sort of stinks because everything with Falcon, like he seems to know a lot about that stuff and care and have views on that stuff, and that's fine, he should, but like we don't know anything about him before, you know, we know he's, you know, in the army and stuff, but there should be more to it than that, and there just isn't. And it's just playing off of someone dealing with racism as a whole and not dealing with a specific as someone's actual perspective would be, which is what you should have for the show. The difference, I think, is like, look at Black Panther specifically. I know this is like the whitest, lamest, most mainstream way, but it works because it's Marvel also, is with Killmonger. We have specifics about Killmonger as a character so you understand who he is. And he explains that, and you get who he is, and you get how distinctive he is. With Falcon, what is his experience that makes him distinctive of who he is? And we just don't know anything, and I think it's really hurting the show overall. So this episode was the worst structured because it's almost like you hit the denouement thing. That's like the point of rising action, and then it's all falling action. It's like a storytelling kind of moment. Like you can hit the point of rising action early in the episode, which this one did, but it's falling, but it's almost falling in terms of the flow of the show to another rise. So it's like, I don't understand how this flow works. This is the least I've liked an episode, because when I later think of it in terms of storytelling, it is like a total fucking mess. I love the Julie Louis-Dreyfus stuff. I like the beginning. There's a lot of stuff I really loved about this. But overall, what it's trying to say with the character stuff, we're getting in this messy territory. I absolutely think there should be more with like another season or more episodes or something. But like where it is now, I'm like really not sure about the show, and I'm doubting a lot of things. And I really don't think they're going to make up for Falcon in one episode. I mean, unless they have like an amazing scene that explains everything. But that seems to be a problem with these shows. It's like they have the time to do it, and it feels like the only character I've really liked that they've done that with is the Winter Soldier. Everyone else, they seem to like muff it out. So we'll see what goes on from there. The other thing I know about the Julia Louis-Dreyfus stuff is apparently she will. We know because it was in a Vanity Fair thing, but apparently no one could get it confirmed, which is sort of interesting. Is that she was supposed to be in Black Widow, and we don't know if she was cut out because of the rearranging of this, the different release strategy because of COVID and stuff. So we'll see what happens there, but apparently we have in at least Vanity Fair who no one could get it confirmed from anyone at Marvel, which is interesting. So that pokes a hole in my whole Alfred Molina thing. But we'll see about that. I'm more doubting the show than I've ever seen before, but I still, I'm going to stick with it. I'm kind of curious how they wrap it up, and of course, what Falcon is going to look like in the Captain America uniform or whatever the Wakandans made for him, which I think is also going to be really cool. So that's it. All right, spoilers over. There we go. I'm going to write spoilers over, and then we'll talk about, I'm glad I didn't do 3 sections tonight. Toonami the Intruder. Okay. So, if you didn't know, I put out my video for every show ever of every Toonami show ever. And after I do that, I like to review kind of a short thing from Toonami. And so I decided to review the first total immersion event, The Intruder, which is the time that the first Tom was killed, and then the second Tom, which was voiced by Steve Bloom, who'd continue to voice him to this day, happened after that. Because this is this transition you get from Tom 1, who I've always thought of as Potbelly Tom, and then you get Tom 2, who I think is kind of the Tom that most people remember. And this was aired as a micro series on Toonami, first from from September 18th to September 22nd, 2000, and then the rest, the other ones on November 6th, 2000, and November 24th, 2000. The deal with this Tom thing is there's an intruder on the spaceship the Absolution, which I actually learned was is a ghost. What was it? This part I found interesting. I didn't know this at all. The Ghost Planet spaceship Absolution was the first Cartoon Network intergalactic broadcast vehicle. It was bought by Maltar in order to explain new galaxies. So Tom is canonically in the same universe as Space Ghost, is what I'm learning from this. So it starts off, and I think the ones in September, because the video I posted on Twitter, and I'll have clips of it, and I'll try to post, if anyone wants to, they don't have to, the video I watch. But the first part of it, and I believe the ones that aired in September, are like this haunted house thing where there's an intruder on the spaceship. Tom has to figure out what it is, much like Alien. You know, Alien's basically like a haunted house movie in space. And Sarah, the computer, has to help Tom find this intruder, and then Tom 1, spoilers, is killed by this thing, and then Tom 2 is reborn after this. That first part is actually pretty good. Like, I would watch more shows like that with Tom. I really like that. That was really neat. Now, the way this kind of stinks is eventually like they have to get a new engine, and they spend way too long on that, to be honest with you, and it kind of kills the narrative because it comes more about like this dumb ship than it is about like any sort of narrative type thing. It does have like cool hip hop, like lo-fi hip hop or whatever, because it's Toonami, but I think, and then of course, you know, the original voice, Sonny Strait, was Tom 1, and then Steve Blum took over after that. But this was mainly made to be a promotional thing. It's not really made to be a narrative or tell a story. That was just maybe second to that, honestly. Every episode of The Intruder, a password was given to unlock a flash game on Toonami.com. One was for the Clyde's little robots he has around the ship to do various things. There was a game involving them. That was the only one I could really find about. But I didn't see on the thing the passwords for that. But there's some interactivity with the audience. And then later there was the one where you could call in and ask. You could call in this number and vote on what engine should take over the Toonami ship or should be put on the Toonami ship. That section I thought really stunk. Because it just like, I'm sure it played well when you're watching them separately. But when you watch them together, it really doesn't work. But I like the spookiness of this. It kind of made me want to watch more of those sort of things. It is interesting, like Tom 1 was only around for a year, whereas Tom 2 was around from 2000 to 2003. And I like the kind of the way they use the ship, the way they kind of use it. And it probably was a lot of fun to watch in the 2000. I remember hearing about this. I do not remember watching it at the time, if that is your next question. But it was kind of a cool little fun thing because I can see being into it at the time and being like, oh, what happened with that? And then seeing the next section and stuff. I don't know if it was ever meant to be watched all together, so maybe I'm reviewing it and watching it inappropriately. But I will say the section that was meant to be watched together, which was the one that aired throughout the week, I actually thought was pretty cool, and it shows you could hold a narrative with Tom, which I know they would do and continue to do later, and even do a sequel to The Intruder, which I have read about, and maybe I'll review that later if enough people dig this video, when it's a separate video. But it was kind of shows you like how much love you can have for a character like Tom, that you'd want to watch him in a whole half-hour thing. And that shows a lot for a character that they're able to hold up for these things, even if it is just a silly little promotional thing. But it wasn't like a bad watch, even if I like more of the haunted house, scary alien thing than I like the let's hang out and wait to get a new spaceship part of it. But Tom has a cool enough vibe that you just sort of want to hang out with him. So it sort of works in spite of that, even if I kind of liked more of the narrative parts of it. But it was still like kind of at least a cool, worth talking about little promotional thing. And if you go back and want to go back and relive those kind of early Toonami things, I think this one is actually kind of neat for what it is, at least. All right, let's do until then, stay gold. Until next time, stay gold. Sorry, I got to do it. I'll do some Patreon questions, and then we'll do regular questions. Sorry, we're running late again because I'm bad at timing things. But here I have a bunch from Nathaniel Fogarty because he left a bunch for me last week, which I didn't see because he left them late. So I'm going to talk about those as well. But I'm going to do the two other people first. Jordan Bouchard asks, in your opinion, which animation studio is putting out the best animated films 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and currently? I'm going to go with Cartoon Saloon and Aardman currently. 10 years ago, I might also go Aardman. 10 years ago would be the 2010s. Maybe 20 years ago Ghibli. 10 years ago, I don't want to say Pixar. I almost want to say maybe Cartoon Saloon then too. But I'd say 20 years ago Pixar and Ghibli. 10 years ago there wasn't really a feature animation studio that really dominated. Maybe Sony dominated artistically the 2010s the way I think Pixar and Ghibli did when they were doing the 2000s and the 90s, and Disney as well, which is interesting now that you bring it up. But Sinram asks, after Lindsey Ellis deleted her Twitter account, you said she should have apologized instead. What do you think of her Thursday video addressing the issue? I realized that you might have already been planning to address this during the show. Again, I still think she should have apologized. I thought it was a good video. I sort of think it bookends the whole thing for the most part, other than those objections I noticed earlier. And Yeah, I think is a good video. You definitely have feelings on that video. I will say that. And now the Nathaniel Foga three-parter here. What what would you do? How would you feel if someone just gifted you a new video game console for you and your family? I would be very appreciative and might play it a little, but it would end up just collecting dust most likely. Favorite Patrick H. Williams video. I like the OC video. I liked his Wes Anderson X-Men video, his really early one. His Kevin Smith video was good. I've watched more of the recent ones. I don't remember the ones. The Austin Powers one was alright. Yeah, I'd say those. And then his third one, which was his one this week, was if a hypothetical Knockforce movie had a soundtrack, what would you want to have different various bands and artists? And if it does, who would you pick? Or would it be filled with all songs you and Ian did? I'm sure it would be mostly us. I'm sure we'd ask, like, if let's say it's a movie in an infinite budget, it'd be like Ghostface Killah, Lil Wayne, MF Doom. I'm thinking of the era who we're listening to. Early Drake. Because I remember we got that mixtape the day it dropped because everyone liked the cover because it looked like an Economist cover. Like, the reason people were into Drake at first was, like, so different. It's, like, not even... I can't even explain versus now. It's weird to say, like, I had that mixtape the day it came out that really broke him, but I actually did. Charles Hamilton, if you remember him, he was really into Sonic the Hedgehog, mainly his mixtapes. See, a lot of these people like Lil Wayne and Charles Hamilton, like, their mixtapes is what made them, and I don't think those are on Spotify, which stinks. Young Jeezy, the guys from Houdini, the Gorillas, Lupe Fiasco, of course. I have not watched this Robert Zemeckis video, but I should. Okay, Zane Powers. As a white guy, should I not be involved or get offended at anything that is deemed as problematic for other races so that doesn't concern me? That's what a friend of mine thinks. You can still be offended. I don't see why. I think it should concern you because you're a human. I don't understand that perspective. I feel like it's worse if you're not really listening to that stuff. I didn't get to this, Austin, so thank you for bringing it up. Thoughts on Mads Mikkelsen, Indy 5, you think he's going to be the villain? I think he could be. We don't really know. We don't know who anyone really is. We just know their cast. I think he would fit in that world very well. We'll see what happens with that. Cornbread, you already said your opinion on Star Wars Detours, but my Lucasfilm insider, Lord Gukas, has stated 30 out of the 50 episodes heavily focus on goddamn Wolfman. Has this changed your opinion? I should have seen this coming. Actually, it has. That show will be a classic, and I think, much like Mandalorian, they won't be able to put out any movies for a while because it's going to be so good. So, Zane Powers, what is your worst apology video you've ever seen? And for fun, can you do an imitation of it? I haven't seen that many, to be honest. I saw the Logan Paul one. Didn't he cry? I watched, what was it? Retro Nemo made one where he remixed apology videos. Where is that? That was a good video. I like Retro Nemo. He should be out more. I like that guy a lot. I know I'm like old enough to be his dad, but he's a cool guy. He makes some cool stuff. And I enjoy. I don't know. That's one thing I miss about conventions. Is hang out with Retro Nemo. Jordan Salaflo. Oh, this is an interesting one. Favorite Cameron Crowe movies. I would say. I don't know if Say Anything. I don't know if they hold up because I used to be really into them in high school. I'm not sure if they do, but it would have to be between Almost Famous and Say Anything in my mind. I don't Singles and Jerry Maguire. I don't like as much. Nathaniel Fogo. What's a director you'll never understand the hype for? Probably Chris Nolan. I don't understand why he's so big. He's fine, but I just don't get it. Cornbread, continuing that Nick movie question I asked before, do you think it would have been better for Warner's to release the Animaniacs reboot on HBO Max instead of Hulu? Probably, but they signed that deal too early, so they didn't, but probably would have worked out better. Nathaniel Fogo, do you have any hope for a Speed Racer sequel could happen? No, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Tayusu of Freedom 3, you ever watch Pirates of Dark Water? Your thoughts on it? The art was amazing. I watched it at the time. I thought it was cool. I haven't watched it since. Zane Powers, the franchises kills director's jail and everyone still has a career. And how come Josh Trank isn't directing Spider-Man 3? That's a good point. You know, I think Josh Trank failed too much. Like, there's limits to it, and I think he pushed that. Ralph Alderson, do you believe in magic? I mean, in a young girl's heart, I guess. Mekazawa, favorite brand of whiskey to drink? I think Maker's Mark is. I'm more of a maple whiskey person. I haven't drank whiskey. I don't really drink it very regularly, but I always have maple whiskey on me. So that's kind of my thing, to be honest with you. Um, Favorite show or movie from another country? Maybe 400 Blows. Let's just say that. Zane Powers, are you looking forward to my new upcoming project with Draw Lover Lala? Not a shameless plug. I guess I am. I'm not sure. I don't know about that. I'm sorry. I know you work on stuff, but I don't know about that. But I would look forward to it. Let me know what it is. Will things get better in life? Zane Powers, I hope so. Um, is Beethoven a good is Badathon a good name for a dragon? Yeah. Would you be able to ship your stickers to Canada from Disco Spider? I do not have any problem with shipping stickers to Canada. I might give you too many, but I will ship you stickers. I will ship you stickers to Canada, if that's your question. Yeah, I totally will. I've done it before, and I'll do it again. Super Kirby dude, if there was a Knock Force live action movie, who will play as the main characters? I guess me and Ian, but otherwise it'd be Ostrich Vox and Seth Rogen. Question: how long will it take for you to realize that Drake was Jimmy Under? Oh, I've known Drake. I knew him as Jimmy on Degrassi first. So trust me. Zane Powers, what's that weird lump on your neck? Is there one? I don't know. Question: this week marked the 25th anniversary of Jameson's Giant Peach. How do you feel? Old, because I rented that at Blockbuster. Gilberto Benitez, I hope I said that right. Between the two characters, who do you think would be a better traveling companion for Ash Ketchum if they were to cross paths with each other? Robin or Meeb? I don't know who those people are. I know who Ash is. I don't know if I could. I'm sorry. I don't know who those people are. I would say Daffy Duck, because that would be working. Sorry, I'm not good at answering that question. I apologize. Not plausible. Oh, we bought a zoo. I forgot about that, Jared. Thank you. Not plausible. How do you try to promote a thing without being annoying? This isn't in particular reference to anything. I like what I do with my videos. I'll do a 2 posts, but I do them separate. The only time, or I try to have some distance between the two things. Don't do it too much. Try to find try to find prime times to do it. Have various accounts on different social media. See what works for you, basically. If it's working for you on Instagram and you notice you're not really getting any feedback from other ones, look at your analytics. That would help. It will tell you what's working. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, I'm actually getting that many. Because sometimes Google Analytics are pretty good. So follow that, I would say, if you're doing it that way. But just don't push it too much, but try to make sure people are aware of it, I would say. But just, yeah. I hope that was a good one. Zane, hold on. Zane Powers, when was the last time you ugly cried? I don't want to get into it. Not plausible. All joking aside, what genre would you like to see Kevin James try to tackle? I would like to see him in an actual action movie, doing actual action things. That would be cool. Will Logan Paul win tonight? I mean, in some ways he always wins. He's got eternal white boy summer. Question: is Silenced from Aladdin a good song? No. Jesus, why did you remind me of that? Can I have more stickers? Zane Powers. Yeah, you can. That is a good question. If you want more stickers, let me know. I'll hit you up with more. Got any more Knockforce stickers? No, I think that's done for now. I'm sorry. I gave away too many. I'm just keeping the rest for other stuff. How many questions have you answered? The Dark Lord of Cats. I don't know, too many. Sup, Jim. Hey, Speedwagon. Thoughts on opera? It's fine. I missed the tiny mirror in the frame of your shot. Oh, that's true. Well, that's in That's literally on the, ow. Oh, man. Other side of the wall. All right. I think that's it. We keep going over. We have to be better about that. Or I have to be better. I don't know why. It's not your guys' fault. But I want to thank you all for coming out. I believe the prediction stream will be on Wednesday. There will not be a movie video on Monday. Obviously, Falcon Winter Soldier will be Sunday. And then I'm not sure if Arlo will be Tuesday or Infinity Train will be Friday. And then Toonami will be somewhere in there. So that's kind of the schedule this week. Try to take, when I say like, I'm kind of trying to not give times necessarily until you hear a full announcement, because my life's so jam-packed with things. Things get moved for so many different reasons. It's not worth getting into. But just if I say a day or something's coming, it's not because of any laziness. I don't think anyone does, but I thought I'd just bring that up. A question, is your elbow okay? Yes, it hurts a little. It did hit it a little. It does hurt. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. But I want to thank everyone for watching, being supportive. If you watch this week, if you never watch, except for now, and I haven't seen you in a while, that's cool too. Or watch the Dick Tracy special review, anything like that. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you all for the super chats. Everyone, generosity from, if you gave a super chat, thank you very much. If you didn't and you watched and you just like something, that's very cool of you too. You guys have a good rest of your Saturday night, a good Sunday, and I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for being here, and subscribe if you would like to. I'll see you next time. Peace. Bye.